Thanks for watching Film Buff, really, honestly. It's fucking great.
How's it going, guys? My name is Film Buff. Alright, man, first of all, thank you so much for joining me here. A big thank you to all my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. Alright, man, so let's check out episode 5. Let's do a quick recap. Siggy died out of nowhere. Like, I was not expecting that. That was like shocking. It was so like it was so out of left field. I was like, what? Judith and Ethelston had to go through this whole thing of like connecting, and now they have to like separate again. Princess Kay poisoned her brother, and by the end of the episode, Harbard took his leave, and right at the end he kind of disappears into a poof of smoke, and Helga's just left kind of like speechless. So yeah, I guess a bit of a hint that he definitely was some kind of supernatural being. But yeah, man, excited to get back into it. Let's just check out episode 5.
Tell me about Paris, please.
I only went there once.
Continue.
I was visiting a monastery in Francia outside of Paris. And one day, the monks took me to see it. It was amazing. It just appears, as if it rises out of the water. I have never in my whole life seen anything like it. It was like a dream. It has these huge walls, and inside the walls are these buildings made of marble and stone, and churches, such churches. I remember the clamor of their bells calling the faithful to prayer. But what I remember more is the beautiful women.
You never told me that, but
I almost questioned my vows of celibacy.
And that look, man, he's so good, man. His facial acting is like some of the best.
I would not come back here if it weren't for my children.
At least you have children.
Where are my sons?
I have something to tell you.
Rollo! Rollo!
Where is Ziggy? I cannot find her.
Ziggy is dead.
How?
Uber and Fitzurk fell through the ice into a frozen lake. Ziggy saved their lives, but she drowned. And we could not find the body.
Gods are mistaken.
No, the gods are never mistaken.
This is my fault. I did not treat her well.
What are you hiding, Helga?
Nothing. What do you
Loki
mean?
knows, man. He's not.
I can see it in your eyes.
Thorin. Oh no, man. Don't want to see drunk Rollo again. It's good, because if Bjorn does this, then, the others don't have to fight him, so it sucks that they're fighting, but it's better that Bjorn does it.
Are you going to see Thorin?
No. She does not want to see me. If she needs me, she'll tell me. She's a woman, not a child. Good night.
Lagatha's not impressed, man.
His name was Harbard.
Yes. That is what he
Does that
said.
ring a bell, Floki?
And what else did he do? This Harbard.
But what does it matter? He took Aslog away from the children. It was his fault that Siggy died.
No. Not his fault.
Aslog's fault.
Her fault, your fault, everyone's fault.
What do you mean? You frighten me.
Harbard is not a human being.
It's a god.
Harbard is a god. He came to visit. And such a visit must always be celebrated.
Even if it leads to death.
If it leads to death, it also leads to life. And that is the way with the gods. Who's Harbard?
Oh. Oh man. This is gonna get interesting now.
There is nothing he can do for my condition.
Condition? What condition?
Thirst. The thirst is real.
Answer me! I'm your husband.
I'm with child.
What? Whose child is it? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh man, I knew this was gonna happen.
I do not lie about what I see, King Ragnar. Only sometimes I withhold things, for human beings cannot bear too much reality.
Tell me if I will conquer Paris.
I can see that not the living, but the dead will conquer Paris.
Not the living, but the dead.
And I also see that the bear will be crowned by a princess, which does not bode too well for you, King Ragnar.
But I have begun to think and dream of it. Athelstan! Come! Come! Athelstan has been to Paris. And the wanderer who first told me about England, he too told me about this city. We must find him! Yes! For it is good to travel with hope and with courage. But it is still better to travel with knowledge!
Knowledge is power, man. Knowledge.
It is because I am useless, fruitless, hollowed out by failed ambitions, by failed loves. Nothing good can ever come of my life now.
Sure it can, man.
What is there to laugh about?
Rollo, if you truly knew what the gods have in store for you, you would go down now and dance naked on the beach.
I don't understand.
I tell you, as I told Ragnar, the bear will marry a princess, and I can tell you that you will be present at the ceremony.
He's a bear?
Now go and leave me.
Kill the pagans.
Oh shit. He's taking his anger out, man.
But don't pretend to me that you don't want to go to Paris. I know you want to go to Paris. I have dreamed of the three of us going together. Do you understand? Do you understand you are not leaving?
You're a man now, Bjorn. Act like one.
That's little dig at him for, you know, the way he's treating Torun. Or his treatment of her so far.
There's much more.
She might be pregnant, man.
Do you not know who Harbard is? Harbard is another name for Odin. It was Odin who slept with his wife. The god Odin who came to
That was cool. Could have been Loki. Because why is he trying to get her away from the sons? You know, like...
To violate a treaty that I had signed in good faith! God knows what the Northmen will make of these terrible events. Thank you. Thank you, my son. You did the business so well. How could we ever have allowed these Northmen to establish themselves here? It's unthinkable.
It worked out well.
No. It worked out beautifully, my son. Even Charlemagne would have approved. Don't you think so?
So yeah, finally, they've shown us King Egbert, you know, his big move, his big plan, or like, now this is didn't come to me as a shock because, you know, just like Ragnar, he's a smart man. It never really seemed like he was actually on board and like happy about this, right? He's a smart man. He's got his own agenda, so not the biggest shocker. The only thing I was surprised about was the actual plan of how, you know, he did it. I actually thought that Aethelwulf was just like super angry, and unless he was, you know, maybe Egbert used that anger and channeled it to, you know, carry out this little mission. Now I guess the reasoning behind this was to get the snakes out, you know, the generals. Now he has them. But also, it's a risky move, man, because like all those northern men, they just died, man. So super risky move. Obviously, Ragnar's not going to be happy about this. But I guess King Egbert kind of covered his back by, you know, arresting the generals who were responsible. All right, man, let's go to the beginning of the episode. Again, some really cool acting on display, man. You know, Ragnar seems to be obsessing over the idea of this new place, you know, this new mythical place, Paris, in Francia. Now, as Uthelstan's telling him about, you know, how amazing this place is, and, you know, marble and stone, and you can see in his face, Ragnar's just like lighting up, and, you know, these are the kind of things that get him excited, right? And Travis did such an amazing job, I think, showing that, and he has been doing for like 3 seasons now. You know, a lot of times he doesn't even need to speak. You could just you could read it like in his face exactly what he's trying to say and like what he's feeling. Staying on the topic of Paris, you know, there's a few things going on here. Rollo, or actually even before that, you know, before he announced it to everyone, he was back to his old friend's little hut, you know, the seer, the ancient one. And basically the ancient one confirmed it to him that, or confirmed it for him that, you know, okay, yeah, that seems to be the next thing they're gonna head towards. But he told him something, man. He said that the bear is gonna marry the princess, and that it's not the best case scenario for Ragnar. That's what he told him. Later on, you see Rollo back in there, and, you know, Rollo's just like going on about how he's secondary. You know, his father picked Ragnar before him. Everyone picks Ragnar before him, even Lagertha. He's again, you know, back to his, unfortunately, he's back to his, you know, drunk, miserable, Rollo days. You know, he pities himself. He thinks he's a loser, basically. And then the seer starts laughing, man. And I knew the moment he starts laughing that there's obviously something much bigger in store for Rollo, because, you know, he's not going to just laugh at him. And then I guess at this point it was a little bit more clear what he meant by the bear is going to marry the princess. It looks like in Paris something's going to happen, and Rollo might find himself in a position of power somehow, and maybe he's going to end up marrying this princess, if indeed the bear in this prophecy is Rollo. Rollo's pretty goddamn big, so, you know, he kind of fits the description. So exciting, man. I do want to see Rollo do something big, you know, something big happen for Rollo that, you know, that really shakes it up for him. But it kind of sucked to see him, you know, regress back into the old Rollo, man. And it wasn't really by choice, right? The death of Siggy caused it. It's not like he wanted this. But you know, that hit him hard again, and then the guilt sets in, right? He's like, oh, I should have been better to her, should have been nicer to her. Yeah, it kind of sucked to see him back there. You know, I really did like him as this calm, level-headed person who was actually the rock for a lot of these people over the last few episodes. You know, for Ragnar, for Floki, for Björn. Okay, so the moment, you know, Ragnar got off the boat, you know, he could tell something's wrong. And, you know, even before that, he was telling Uthelstan that if he wasn't married, that he wouldn't even come here, you know, if it wasn't for his sons. So it's pretty clear he doesn't really care for Aslog anymore, or I'm not even sure if he did at any point. But it's just for his sons, you know. You could tell he was dreading it, you know, the return. You know, to me, it felt like he just wants to be back out there and not be anchored down by, just like Aslog. But he does love his you know, kids. He loves his sons. But at one point he did, you know, find out about Harbard because Floki found out from Helga. But you know, Floki knew, you know, his belief in the gods is like really strong. So you know, he was putting it all together. He you know, immediately starts to put together a narrative to what's going on here. He believes that was Odin or a god. Now, you know, why exactly is Odin doing any of these things? You know, nothing good really came out of it other than Iva, the boneless, you know, being free of his pains. Other than that, you know, Sigi died because I still believe that the kids were out there because of Harbard. If not, then it was just kind of silly that they just randomly, you know, decided to go out there. And as Floki mentioned, he definitely seduced Aslog. So this sounds more like Loki to me. So I don't know, man. But you know, Floki did mention that it's another name for Odin. So I guess he kind of confirms it. But we'll see, man. Maybe there's more to Harbard later on in the show. Ooh, another cool thing, man. Ragnar mentioned that it was a wanderer that set him off on this journey in the first place. You know, all the way back to season 1. Was this Harbard, perhaps? You know, that'd be kind of cool. And he also mentioned that this stranger also told him about Paris. I think that's about it, man. A lot of things going on here. One more thing, Aethelwulf. You know, you can't blame him. You can't blame the guy for being angry and upset. And to know that she has another man's child, that would like make any man angry. That would crush you, man, to know that. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed that, please smash that thumbs up. Leave your comments, let me know what you guys thought. I've got links to social media down below. If you're into that, hit me up. It was cool to get back to the show and check out another episode. Hopefully I'll be back with more soon. I'm hoping to have another one out in the next few days after this is up. But yeah, once again, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for checking this out. And yeah, man, take it easy.